Alright, wanted to do another tier list here. This is for Dokkanfest EZA 2Rs. We recently had Vegito Blue and Broly's EZAs. And I feel like, just to kind of cap out 2022, we're going to finalize this. Even though they're technically 2023 EZAs, I still want to start off the year, at least just the beginning of the year, with the new EZA tier list. We'll see how other EZA TORs are going to be this year. Maybe they'll be better. Blue Gogeta definitely is a good starting point here. So, let's hop right into it again. Top 10. Let's go with our number 10 spots. This is actually full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, this guy I think is pretty nice, right? It's the only super full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku we have in the game. So that's actually helpful for sure in terms of his value. Has a good link set. He's on a lot of category teams. And I just think overall, he's just a very solid unit. He's a nice unit overall. The one issue with him is that he doesn't really have any multiplicative boost, right? I think a lot of these EZA 2Rs don't really have multiplicative boost like that. But I don't know. I'm not personally like the biggest fan of this guy, right? Because he's not really doing anything I feel that's special necessarily outside of this. If you can get a scouter ability up, that's really, really good. But you have to have a full power category rotation. And actually, no, my bad. You need only one full power category ally and under 59% HP, which I feel like is not a bad restriction at all. And getting a scouter like that is very helpful. There's a lot of good units here on the full power category team that you could use. Carnival Goku. We have, the new Tech Piccolo is a unit that could work on there, right? Even this Ultimate Gohan, right? If you're able to, I kind of spoiled number 9, but Shocking Speed right there, right? They do share the Shocking Speed healing, stuff like that. There's some pretty nice options here. You have to keep in mind you need to run him with a full super class turn though, because he gets this additional boost right there. He even has a 30% chance to counter super attacks, right? I think that's pretty it's an ability people don't really talk about. That I feel like it's not something you should rely on, but it's something in the back pocket where even if a super attack is aimed at him, he will be able to just completely avoid taking damage from there. So that's just very helpful. I like this Goku. I think he's a solid guy, right? An issue, I think the full power team isn't really there right now. Like, you're not going to run him or Broly as a leader. This Goku doesn't really, you could technically run him as a leader for full power, but no, probably not. We need a new leader for this team still. Broly's not enough. I definitely do think we need a new leader for this team. So that's why I have full power Goku at 10. I think he could be there almost, but another thing, Super Saiyan 4s are just not there right now. Like, we have LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but this guy's not a slot 1 unit. We need like a slot. I think we really need a slot 1 Super Saiyan 4. Like, every single Super Saiyan 4 that's come out has been like a slot 2 unit. So we badly need a slot 1 soon. Eventually we'll get one, I feel. Anniversary might be GT themed. Who knows, right? So the next, we already saw it. Tech Vegito Blue. The reason why I have Tech Vegito Blue up here is I just feel he has a better situation than the Goku. Along with that, even though he doesn't have the scouter, he's a stacking unit. I feel obviously he could just do much more damage than this guy, right? It's a little more RNG based, but when this guy is like really built up and going, he's going. It's just you need the luck on your side for that, which I'm not really the biggest fan of the RNG. If I could change anything about this unit, I would make this medium chance a high chance, and I feel like he'd be cooking so much more often, obviously, right? And I don't think it would have made him too much good, but he would have still been very relevant even now. Right now he's still good, but he's not a unit that you would go out of your way to pick. Same with like really many of these EZA 2Rs. Like, kind of like a last piece option on the team. A good majority of them. One reason why I do actually have this guy higher than I did before, I feel, is the existence of this guy right here. We'll talk about him later. Obviously he's on the list. But the EZA Blue Gogeta EZA, I actually used them, again, I don't know if that video is going to be up before this one or after, but I used them as a rotation, and it worked out pretty well. And this guy looked pretty impressive in that fight, so, yeah, again, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, he's on that team. Fuse Fighters can get a very big buff soon. We just got the EZA for Vegito Blue, Gogeta Blue, We can get the 5-year EZAs, right? I get anniversary, who knows, maybe there's still Fuse Fighter leader in there. Superheroes just got a new team, right? This guy has a lot of 200% teams. I think he's good. He's even on the Future Saga team, right, with Vegeta and Trunks. Not the best for him specifically, but still. I like this guy a lot, and, you know, just overall, I guess I should reword that. I don't like him a lot, but I think he's nice. He's a neat one. So that's my pick for number 9. Now next we have my number 8 spot, which is STR Ultimate Gohan. So I think one big thing about STR Ultimate Gohan here is the existence of the new LR Ultimate Gohan, the Beast Gohan that we got. So that kind of hurts this guy a little bit, but he's still, I think, pretty good. He has some tech with him, right? And I think that's very interesting. At this point, you know, I feel like a lot of these units that are like going to be up more on this tier list are ranked by like how special I feel like their kind of tech is. This guy does have the guard ability. While it's not really a consistent guard ability per se, with the high chance to guard, it is something that can really help you in a lot of difficult content. And this guy with his guard up is able to eat super attacks, which I feel like is definitely a pretty major thing you should consider. He's also a support unit, right? Giving all allies, superclass allies, bare minimum 50% defense. I like that a lot personally. And once he does guard, I guess it becomes a little consistent because he has the guard for the 4 turns. Then he does an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. This is helpful because this mechanic will allow him where even if he's just type advantage and his high chance to guard doesn't proc, it'll still activate this because it's type advantage, which is technically guarding, right? So if you think of, you know, physical bosses like Metal Cooler Core, or even Cell Max has a physical phase in the middle, he keeps his guard for like 1 turn against Cell Max, right? Again, the Cooler Core, he could actually get his guard activated and tank pretty solidly in there. Stuff like that. If there's a physical enemy, this guy will kind of help in that. Even like the new Cell Red Zone, the second to last phase has a physical phase. So if he gets hit in that phase, even if it doesn't attack too much, he got his guard activated, right? I think this guy's nice. The issue is that I feel like his stats could be a little higher, right? Like, offensively, this guy is not as good as Tech Vegito Blue, but I like his support abilities. I think his defense abilities I would prefer. This guy's cool, right? Some RNG to him, but if you're able to get the really good luck, like I said, he could work really well. I like him the most on the Carnival Goku team. I think that he works really well there. Fortunately, it doesn't really work on hybrids because of the LR, though. That's the only thing about that, but doesn't really change anything about him per se, because hybrids before wasn't even really a team that you would use anymore. And it's like, even though hybrids are his team now, it's like that doesn't mean that this guy would go down necessarily. But yeah, next in our list we have the Int Dokkanfest Kid Goku. So I think this guy is actually kind of underrated by the community a little. I feel that people are thinking that this guy is bad. I've seen a lot of people putting this guy down like yesterday at the time this video goes up, and it's like, okay, this guy can't take supers, right? I feel like a lot of these units on this list can't really take supers a solid amount of time. Some of them have tech against super attacks, right? This guy doesn't really have that. I think another thing is that, you know, obviously with the existence of the physical Kid Goku, people are like, oh, well, I'm not really gonna use this guy. And first off, I would say that that is definitely true, right? That's a very fair judgment. But him as a unit himself, he's actually pretty good. I really do like this Dokkanfest Kid Goku. He does have a pretty huge start of turn buff, right? And then he does build up over time. He gets infinite ki, so he himself has never really had ki issues, especially now that he gets 2 ki permanently every single turn. That's just super helpful. Like a Dokkanfest getting ki like that is very good. He has the additional with a high chance to become a super attack. You know, he's doing his immense damage. He has a high chance to stun. Very nice tech against that. In like some stages could be stunned. You know, there's even burst mode. You could have the high chance to stun like that. Could be pretty good. He has guaranteed crits at low HP, which I feel like Dokkan definitely values guaranteed crits. And this guy, like, if you think about like, there's like the sweet spot for him where he's at exactly 59% HP. And where you can get that is the Carnival Goku team, where if he gets his revive off, or I guess any team with Carnival Goku on it, say you get his revive off, you're at exactly 59% HP, so he's guaranteed critting and still has the additional attack, which is very good. And then he has this extra buff, which I think is, it's nice, right? It's definitely special. It prioritizes you where you use the active skill, which is also very easy to get. And it does do some pretty solid damage, because again, the active skill will always guarantee crit, even if you don't have this up, because they changed. Because how it used to be is that he used to guaranteed crit once only, but now it's always guaranteed crit under 59% HP, which is good. Then the lower his HP is, he gets more defense, which is also helpful as well. I just like this guy. I think he's good. He's also on like so many of these teams, and it's like in the future, you know, I don't know, maybe Turtle School gets a leader, you know, Bottom Master and Disciple can get a really good leader. You know, you could use them on these teams, even if you don't have the Dokkanfest Kid Goku. Like maybe in the future, Battle of Fate will get a new leader, right? And given that, you know, the Dokkanfest Kid Goku is a newer unit, you still might not even have him. Whilst I do think the Dokkanfest kind of hurts this guy in terms of his relevancy, his power is still really good. I think he's a unit like you use in game, and he seems more impressive than on paper even. I'm personally a big fan of this guy. I think he's pretty fun, so that's why I have him at 7. At my number 6 spot, we do have the EZA Metal Cooler. Again, kind of a similar situation to the Dokkanfest Kid Goku. He's very good. The thing with this guy, he does have the debuffing. I do like the debuffing, actually. The issue is that I feel like this guy, all this doesn't really matter. We could just straight up ignore this. In current content, it's not really the biggest deal ever. Though it could be helpful, again, for future, maybe even burst modes, right? He has the HP recovery. I think that's really interesting. Once he gets this built up, his stats are actually pretty good. He's able to tank any normal attack in the game without having to worry about like any RNG. While something like, you know, Kid Goku or Ultimate Gohan, you know, Vegito right there, they need to get like some additional supers and stuff like that at times to be able to tank these normals. Metal Cooler, he just has to be built up, and then he's looking really good from there. Strong link set for like the Wicked Bloodline team. On a good amount of teams, though some of them really do need a new leader, I feel. And then if he does get this off, I think that this Metal Cooler core actually can do some pretty nice damage overall. It's a free turn, can help you recuperate, and you know, when you return back from this Metal Cooler core state, I think like if there's a boss that like locks you, like let's say, I'm trying to think like the Cooler core boss itself, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that this, like if you transform, if a unit was going to be sealed in that turn, they're not sealed anymore or locked anymore, which could be helpful. And 50% HP or less is not the worst thing to get. It's very easy to get when you're pretty deep into these bosses, right? So I think he's very basic and just straight to the point. I mean, this would have been nice if he raised defense here, but I don't think it's the biggest deal, honestly, anymore. 6 is where I have him, though. Again, like the Kid Goku, I think. Even Kid Goku and Ultimate Gohan, all three of these guys, I think an issue with them, and they could even potentially be higher if it wasn't for the existence of, you know, the LR Metal Cooler, physical Kid Goku, and then the LR Ultimate Gohan, right? So that's funny. Maybe all these EZAs will get new updates very soon. We'll have to wait and see, right? But next we have Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, which some people may be like, what the hell? Why is he so high? Which I think is fair for people to be kind of confused on that, because this Bardock, his defense might not be the best at times. I will definitely agree with that. At times, he might not even be able to take normal attacks. Depending on like the team build you're running and, you know, what kind of build you have in this Bardock. I just, after using him, I am a pretty big fan, because if you using him as his intended role as a floating support unit on the Power Beyond Super Saiyan team, which has, again, gotten a pretty, you know, a good amount of units recently, low-key. Like, we got the, well, obviously this year I got the Gods as a leader skill. We got the Blue Gogeta EZA. Obviously, we have, you know, Tech God Goku. We have Tech Vegito Blue. And, again, if GT is going to be the anniversary, then we could see a lot more from there. Even Broly was an addition to this team, right? We could definitely see a lot more from this team very soon. I think, you know, especially when it's paired with movie bosses, or movie heroes, my bad. I think that's pretty helpful as well. Because if you're running like double LR Gods and you have the Gods in rotation, you know, this guy will always get his double super attack. And especially if he triple supers, he has no issues with normals. Double supers, usually I don't really find too many issues with normal attacks either. But then, this is actually really huge. 50% attack support to every single superclass ally. That's a really big buff. Like, no other unit really does that. This, as, like, obviously we have, like, units that support, like, 70% attack and defense, 80% attack and defense. But they're so restricted to where, like, you know, you have to be in multiple categories and stuff like that. This guy is straight up superclass allies get this 50% attack, which is pretty huge. He has a multiplicative buff, I think is pretty helpful. He seals, which I think is pretty helpful, right? he has a prepared for battle and over the flash again, also really helpful. Over the flash is starting to, you know, come back slowly into relevancy, I feel, right? We have the, especially with this guy getting his EZA, the fusions can get their EZA soon, right? Over the flash might be looking like a pretty strong healing very, very soon, which is helpful for sure for this guy. And I think a big thing, he's the only Super Saiyan 3 Bardock in the game, while these guys, again, they have competition, which is what I'd say. This tier list is kind of more like, if you want to structure by pure power and the strength, Bardock would probably be here. But I kind of think about, you know, other units in the game. You know, I think that really does affect how relevant this is. It's like more so of like a relevancy slash, you know, and power obviously does matter, but relevancy does matter as well. And this guy definitely, I feel like he is on a better spot than the other units on this list below him. So that's why I Bardock up here. Some people wouldn't agree. I think pure power, I could definitely see the argument for like these guys. Maybe even STR Gohan above this guy, but that's where it's like EZA TURs are kind of like wishy-washy. You can kind of just move things around, right? I want to clarify that. There's not a definitive mega tier list, but it's mine, so. Next we have Physical Future Gohan. This guy's actually still pretty good. He's over a year old. Again, just like Bardock, he does his role very well, right? He's a damage reduction unit. He does have to build up damage reduction, which sucks for some of these shorter fights, like in the Metal Cooler core fight, for example, where, you know, he can get to the, you know, Metal Cooler core itself, and his damage reduction will only be basically half built up here. The thing is that this guy's best partner is actually not the best unit in the game anymore. It's actually kind of funny to say. A lot of people do agree Piccolo's the best unit in the game. I think it's pretty unanimous. A lot of people think Piccolo's the best unit in the game. You know, this guy is still a top unit in the game, easily for sure though, and they actually work very well together. I think that I really do like Future Gohan being as a slot 2 to this guy. Future Gohan's providing the actual active skill, making it much easier for this guy to potentially get it. If you're running like if you get a full Future Saga rotation, this guy can use his active skill just kind of free, which is really good. Just a solid link set, solid amount of teams, but he really does want to have that Trunks in the same turn, which is a little restrictive. That's the only issue, but this guy's so good right now and so relevant, I feel, in the game. It's not really that big of a deal. If you're going to run this guy, you obviously have to run him with this guy, but I feel like that's going to be the point anyways, right? So I do like this guy a lot. You get super attacks from these really, really tough bosses even now. So that's very impressive. I'm a big fan of this Future Gohan. I mean, I guess you have to have his damage reduction up, or unless you're at low HP, then you can get this extra defense, which is pretty good as well. But that's pretty much it. Big fan of this Future Gohan. I think they really nailed it with him, for sure. Next, we have the STR Namek Goku. So I think a lot of people have used this Namek Goku at this point, like the Future Gohan, but this guy is not really the reason why he's there. Let's talk about Super Saiyan Goku. He's a debuffer. He's stacking defense. He has the guard ability. Even though there's only medium chance, which really sucks. I feel like that's the one thing that kind of holds him back a little. When he does get the guard activated, he has the high chance to crit, which I think is pretty nice. Considering you're going to build this guy with additionals. He has the guard. He does some pretty nice attack stats. I feel like, again, not the best, but if he has a high chance to crit up, he does pretty well. Great link set, you know, shocking speed and prepared for battle. Again, shocking speed is pretty important. A lot of teams, you know, he works really well with the LR Carnival Goku. Again, another thing I'm saying, having good partners and stuff like that is a big reason why some units might be better, and this guy being really well with this unit obviously just ends up making that really good for him, for sure. And then you have this ability where, again, you're able to not only kind of just potentially avoid super attacks by being invincible this phase, you could even save these STR orbs to heal up when this guy comes back. You could, like the Metal Cooler core, or I know for sure 100% with this guy, if you have a unit that's locked or sealed, when you use the active skill and come back, the units are no longer locked and sealed. So that is really helpful again against a fight like the Metal Cooler core. I feel like this guy is designed with the core in mind, and he works exceptional there. And a lot of people, I would honestly say, the core either the core or Broly is the hardest fight right now in the game. Just because Cell Max at this point, there's too many boost units. Like the best unit of the game is a boost unit against Cell Max, so that's a thing right there, right? But Cell Max does, even though Cell Max still does it hard, even in the Cell Max fight, again, this guy can get his guard activated and be pretty goated there. So I'm a fan of this Namek Goku. I think they did do a good job. I feel they could have given them a high chance to guard though, but that's really just me being kind of picky about it. I would say this guy, I think he does really well at what he wants to do. I still like him above Future Gohan. He also does just way more damage to Future Gohan while he's kind of having a similar defensive ability given his guard is upright. Maybe Future Gohan is more consistent. Who knows? Let me know what y'all think. I'm just gonna put the last two here, Cooler and Gogeta. I mean, duh. we're gonna get into something in a bit, but I don't even really have to explain. Cooler is really good. 50% support to STR Cooler is just nasty. He's a defense stacker. He debuffs. He has a transformation. I feel like you won't really transform into this guy, but if you do, he definitely does have the ability to do a lot of damage, especially if you're pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans, you know, in an event like that. This guy could just absolutely destroy very easily. He could do 4 supers with guaranteed crits. Like, that's pretty nasty. Because before he transformed, well, I guess before he's EZA, I should say, I clicked on the wrong one. He has the addition, just one additional, but now he does 2. And then, yeah, he's very strong link set with a lot like of attack and defense in here. Stacking attack once he transforms is pretty helpful. And he has a stacked defense from pre-transformation like this. They gave him what he needed. Even as a leader, you can run double STR Cooler like this and beat a lot of events in the game, if not every single event. I will say the one thing that people have read about this guy is his defensive utility, is what I'd say. Because a lot of times you can't debuff the enemy, so you can't get the additionals, and then he stacks up a little slow. And obviously this guy's, as a floater, you know, I think he's intended to be like your floating unit. He could get crushed, so, because he's not going to stack it up maybe. That's the only thing. I think that it's not really too often you're going to get crushed even by normals against this guy. A super attack will probably always kill him though. Got to keep that in mind. But that's it. I think what he provides to LR Cooler is just too much. This guy is, I think, by far the best, like, EZA 2R. Wait. No, I'm a liar, because obviously I have H.O. Gogeta above him, but this guy is by far, was the best EZA 2R. I feel like there's like, if we had to say, I would say, there's like this, probably. I think there is Gap, and then Gap. If I had to do something right, that's what I would do. I think this guy is by far the best EZA 2R. Not really Super Saiyan Gogeta. I mean, he's fine, right? He's good. I feel like Super Saiyan Gogeta would be like on the tier of like around here with STR Cooler in this guy. But then Blue Gogeta is just dumb. What are they thinking? The 70% chance to dodge. It's not an ability they give to everyone. Well, how many units have this in the game? The 70% chance to dodge? Like 4 units. There's the UI Gokus. This guy. Chile. And I actually think there's the SR Invisible Man does have the great chance to dodge as well. But I think that's it. Like, there's no other unit besides these, like, those 5 specifically that have a 70% chance to dodge. That's a powerful ability to give someone. And then he has a multiplicative buffs, guaranteed crits. He's doing like 10 plus mil, 11 mil, 12 mil attack stats. And then you build this guy with additional, so you could do 2 of them. You could be a really good floater. You float this guy off, he still keeps his attack and defense stack 50% for 4 turns. So he's able to tank any normal in the game, whilst having a 70% chance to dodge. Once he gets this up, that's where he really starts hitting like the, you know, those 10, 11, 12 mil attack stats. Really good link set again. Prepared for battle and over in a flash. Again, like I was saying, over in a flash is really helpful. He's done a lot of good teams. Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Superheroes, even Fuse Fighters, it still feels pretty decent. Obviously, it's Movie Heroes itself, best team in the game. He leads the best team in the game. Movie Heroes. This guy's just nasty. I don't really have to talk about him. I feel like he just came out. We all know how good this guy is, right? Definitely. So, that was my list. This guy's not on there. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, why isn't he on there? I'm just not a big fan of him. I feel this guy just first. I think the biggest reason is he doesn't have a team. Like you use him on Exploding Rage. Or even first off, Global doesn't even have this Kid Goku to use him properly. Movie bosses is his 200% leader skill, but this guy is not. He's. It's just unfortunate. Even as movie boss leader, he's like, you're not gonna use him. His link set is not working for move bosses. They gave him shocking speed, I guess, for that, but like, come on, like, even then, just you're not gonna use this guy over STR Cooler as a float, or you know, the EZA STR Cooler. You're not gonna use him over like LR Janemba or LR Metal Cooler. This team's too stacked with like a specific link set, Thirst for Conquest, big bad bosses that he does not have. This guy, you know, just looking at his other teams, they're not gonna use him on Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Like, he's not. His stats just itself are not good enough. This guy's not good enough. He could do damage, a lot of pretty good damage, but it's still kind of RNG based. His defense is not even as good as his defense is like this guy's level, but this guy has counter. This guy's stacking. This guy has guard. This guy's defense is better. You guys, I feel like you guys kind of see the point that I'm getting at there. This just turned into a Broly hate show at the end, but I'm not a big fan of this guy. I just use them and just... No. I feel they kind of dropped the ball. This should have been 50% or stacking, or they could have given damage reduction. Now, what he will be good in is World Tournament. I think he's going to be good in Super Battle Road. I think he could be really interesting for Burst Mode as well. Depending on the situation, but... I don't know. Cause, well, I guess a big reason for Burst Mode is look at the key he gets. 8 key right here, 6 key. Right, Burst Mode, one of the big things is that you get 5 keys subtracted from you. But since this guy gives himself 6 key and 8 key, it doesn't really matter. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, hopefully he gets an actual team. If we got like LR full power Broly and he's like a 50% support giving damage reduction, this guy could thrive maybe. We'll see. Let me know what y'all think. My tier list. Poor Broly. He should have been way better. Maybe people hate me for this. No, I think full power Goku is just better than Broly. Like, if I would say anything, Broly's 11. Yeah, Broly's just right out of the top 10. But, whoo! Thank you all for watching. Blue Gogeta is the GOAT. That's all I'm gonna say. Peace out.